out the expert handicappers at sportsmemo.com? If not, we have a deal that is impossible to pass up. Right now, you can get every pick from 12 different handicappers this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for only 99 bucks. This includes all sports, all 5% releases from 12 different handicappers for 3 full days. In the history of WagerTalk, Gold Sheet, and Sports Memo, we've never had a deal this good, and the odds are we never will again. All NBA, all college basketball, all NHL, NFL, and soccer, all sports, all 12 handicappers this weekend only at sportsmemo.com.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today, everybody. I'm Lawrence Presman. They call me the Prez. He's Teddy Covers. They call him Teddy Covers. Great show, everyone. Skee Profit. Skee Profit. Coolest part about Skee Profit is that's actually his name. We saw it on the contract. I don't know how you get that lucky. It's like having the last name Throw and you're a quarterback. After Akeem's going to talk NBA, Kings, Clippers, Grizzlies versus the Blazers, and the Pacers versus the Mavs. We got Arthur DiCesare up after him, sportsbook director at the LINQ. We're going to talk a lot about the NFL Championship week, and of course, Teddy Covers with your big game breakdown. What do you got for us, Teddy?
We're going to talk a little NBA hoops for tonight. ESPN action, the Celtics and the 76ers. But, Prez, we got to start, man. Your $2 Tuesday play lost by a half a goal. Brutal, my friend. Sorry to hear it.
Yeah, you know what, Teddy? I mean, it's a perfect time to say this. First, let me just say, we missed an empty netter 2 feet away from the net, but it wasn't the right call. We almost got there, but the teams were both completely out of sync, and you just can't account for that. You never know when teams are just going to lay an egg, and that's what happened last night. But this is just a real perfect time to tell everybody there is a reason that WagerTalk and Sports Memo don't allow games of the year or these massive games. Last night's play was a 5% play. That's the largest play we sell at both websites, and it's literally 1% more than a 4% play. Nobody must go crazy on any of these plays. We are a grinding group of guys. We don't sell these massive titled games, and we lose. I mean, we lost it. It's going to happen from time to time. I'm still 10-3 on the NHL season, and I've made my customers a ton. The only real problem is it's not about losing a 5% as opposed to a 4%. It's about the fact that it's $2 Tuesdays, and we pick up so many customers on those days, and especially so many new customers. I apologize to all of you guys who bought my play and lost, but we bounce right back today. We move on, and we recognize and use those opportunities to just show really the difference between us and a lot of our competitors, because we just got to keep grinding it out, Teddy.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, look, that's the one lesson that we always emphasize is that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a grind out a long-term profit scheme. That's what we try to help you do every day here on WagerTalk Today. It's what we're going to try to help you do on today's show as well.
Lead story, my friend. NFL coaching carousel almost over the coaching window. Dan Campbell hired by the Lions. Brandon Staley hired by the Chargers. We already know about the Falcons, then the Jets, and the Jags. Teddy, it's crazy. I mean, look, I'm colorblind, so I don't want to get into this conversation about color, but Byron Leftwich and Eric Bieniemy are both completely deserving of being a head coach in this league, and I am shocked that neither are sitting in that seat right now.
Well, the Lions hiring Dan Campbell and they gave him a 6-year deal, which is the beauty of it. The bad organizations consistently make bad hires. All right. Detroit has been in football wasteland for the last 30 years because since Wayne Fontes left, I guess Bobby Ross was a decent hire. But it's been one poor choice after the next, after the next, after the next, and again into this cycle for the Lions. So, I mean, you really see the difference between the very bad organizations and the kind of bad organizations when it comes to hiring coaches. And, this is an area where the Jets beat the Lions, the Jags beat the Lions, everybody beat the Lions. As for Brandon Staley and the Chargers, that's, again, an organization that has not been brilliant. What do you have? You have one of the most dynamic young arms in the NFL and an offense that has the potential to be explosive. So what do? You hire the defensive mind. It's not the hire I necessarily. I have nothing against Brandon Staley, but when you have a situation like you have in LA with the Chargers and Justin Herbert, maybe you want a guy who can maximize the offensive side of the football. Just saying.
Yeah, the Lions hire is shocking. Skee Profit's joining us. 60% in his last 45 NBA plays. And honestly, Skee, it's old hat, man. It's like, 60% NBA. Bore me with your winning streaks. How you been, brother?
I'm doing well. It's nice to be back on here with you guys. I think the last time I was on the show, it was a pretty successful day. So hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, man, we absolutely love having you. And Teddy, I got to tell you, I don't know if you actually know this, but Skee recently signed a long-term contract with WagerTalk.com. He's going to be with us till he's gray. His actual real name is Profit, like legit.
True.
You knew that?
I knew that. For some reason, I knew that when I met him. Good last name. And he's been paying off dividends for his NBA clients, for sure.
My actual first name is and let's move on. Kings and Clippers. Clippers minus 10.5. 231.5 is the total. They expect a lot of points in this game, Skee. How are you taking this one apart for us?
Well, last game, Clippers didn't have any trouble. They were shorthanded and they just routed the Kings. I think they won by almost 40 points. And it's just the Kings haven't been playing any defense. They're the worst defensive rated team in the league over the last 5 games. And I don't think we see anything different in this one. I think the Clippers scored their fair share amount of points. But I also think the Kings offense has been picking it up. They're top 10 over the last five games. And the Clippers defense hasn't been the great defense that we thought they were going to be last year. We haven't seen that this year. So I trust both teams to continue to score. I think we see another high-scoring game just like the last one.
Well, so when these two teams just met, it was only one team that got in the high scoring. The Kings scored 100 in that game. The Clips got into the 130s and obviously sent the game over the total as a result. Are you worried at all that Sacramento, and I'm with you on the Kings are playing fast, and it's not an offense that I'm overly concerned about putting the biscuit in the basket. But are you worried that they couldn't do it against the Clips in the other game? And if the Clips don't shoot as well this time, that may be problematic.
I'm not worried because the Kings defense is that horrendous that the Clippers are going to score. I'm pretty confident that they're going to score. Kings haven't been able to stop anybody. They're allowing 123.5 points per game, and they've been putting up 114 points per game. So if they continue doing that, it's a recipe for an over. You said it yourself. Even though they only scored 100, the Clippers were able to put up 138. So I think we see a high-scoring game no matter who's able to put up the points.
Skee Profit joining us, everyone. You can find him at WagerTalk.com. One of the best NBA handicappers on the planet and rolling right now. Skee, a line move in the Blazers-Grizz game. I went to bed. Blazers were minus 1.5. It's spun the other way around. Memphis now minus 1. The total pretty much the same, around 222. Where are you going here?
Well, the Blazers will definitely miss CJ. They have a couple of guys from the starting lineup out now. And the Grizzlies have been playing good basketball. I think they've won 5 in a row. They've covered 4 out of their 5 on the road. They have Ja Morant back now for, I think, a second game. It's just, I've had great success this year spot betting. And this is a spot where I like to play teams, and it's going to line up for the Blazers. And it's teams that got embarrassed as a home dog. They got just blown out. And I expect them to bounce back. As long as they're rested, I have them at 49, 27, and 2, 64.5%. I look at this team up and down, and I still think the Blazers roster is talented enough to compete with them. They definitely have enough guys who can score. The trouble will be on the defensive end. But I trust the Blazers in this one to bounce back. I heard Lillard talk, and I know Lillard's not a loser, so I'll trust the Blazers squad to get a W.
So one of the things that's been working in early season NBA play has been the playoff revenge angle. It's been pretty good. And if you remember, I'm sure you do remember, Skee, I remember talking to you on the day of the game when Memphis played Portland for the right to be in the first round of the playoffs in the play-in game. And, of course, that was a tight game throughout. The Blazers ended up winning by 4. But now we have this Memphis in playoff revenge type of scenario. Are you at all worried about that? And the other thing I want to ask you, McCollum's been so good for Portland. His absence, the first game without him, they get blown out in the fourth quarter. Are you worried about both McCollum and Nurkic being out for the Blazers, giving them depth issues and perhaps issues with their bench?
I'm a little bit worried about it, but the thing that makes up for it is I know the Blazers can score. I know they can shoot. I don't think Memphis is a great shooting team. And if the Blazers are knocking down threes, if Lillard is hot, if Rodney Hood gets hot, any of these guys can shoot. And if they're knocking down those threes, I don't think Memphis can keep up.
Skee Profits, everybody. Another line move, Skee, in the Indiana Mavs game. Went to bed last night pretty late. Had a big night, but that's a different story. Went to bed last night and the Pacers were -1. It switched around to the Mavs at -1, and the total moved up just slightly to 220. Man, I'll tell you, Luka, he is just such a great player. I wouldn't want to be betting against him. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, I love Luka. He had 36 versus Chicago. And I think it was a bad spot versus Toronto. I know I was on them, but they had too many guys out, and he only had 15 in that game. This is a bad spot for Indiana. They now have Turner. He was doubtful. LeVert is out. Warren's still out. Too many key guys out, and it's a flat spot. They're coming home from a long road trip. And I look at these teams, and I look at when the line is short, like between -2 or +2. These teams, since the beginning of last season, they're 1-9-1 against the spread. So I would be fading Indiana. And I look at Dallas versus 55% win teams are greater. They're 5-2 against the spread. Off of that embarrassing loss, I expect Dallas to bounce back, and that's what I like in this game. So I agree with the line move here.
Well, let me ask you this, because the Mavs are in a brutal scheduling spot right now. They had back-to-backs, 1 day off. Now they're playing their 3rd and 4th. They get 1 more day off, and they have another set of back-to-backs. It's 5 and 7 for Dallas this week. Rick Carlisle was making excuses for it already before the stretch even started. And when you're doing a stretch like that, short-handed, like the Mavs are, they're missing, 4 key rotation pieces right now. Does that concern you here now that they're favored? I mean, it's one thing if they're catching points, but now they got to win and win by margin in Indiana. Does the Dallas situation concern you? And of course the Pacers too are coming off a ugly blowout loss. They had a great road trip, didn't end in great fashion. The first time all year Indiana had lost contact.
Well, Dallas is not on a back-to-back this time. They were shorthanded, and they're on a back-to-back, I believe. And Indiana, I just think they're going to regress. I think it's too many key guys out, and I don't think that they'll be as good as they've been to start the year. Dallas, I would be worried a little bit more if they won that game, but they barely even were in it. So I think it's a bounce back spot for them. And it's a spot that I kind of almost blindly fade with the flat spot, but especially when it's these close games. You said Dallas has to win by margin, but it's pretty much just winning the game. And in this situation, the teams like the Indiana Pacers have only covered 1 out of 11.
Skee, one of our listeners asks over 29.5 points for Luka. Any thoughts on that?
Indiana's defense hasn't been great, and the last game he didn't have such a great game. I would think he can get over that number. If I have to bet it, I would think he can get over that number.
Guys, Skee Profit joining us. 60% his last 45 plays in the NBA, a great season last year. Just absolutely sees the sport so well. Make sure to grab his package. We got a promo for you all. The promo code is PROFIT49. That's PROFIT49. 3 days of all his plays for only $49. So head over to WagerTalk.com. Use that promo code PROFIT49. Skee, what do you got for the clients tonight?
I do have a best bet up, a 4% play on tonight's games. I've also sent 2 other plays to subscribers. I've been doing a little bit more higher volume, and I didn't play yesterday at all, so I may send out a couple of more games to subscribers throughout the day.
Awesome stuff. We love having you on. We'll see you next Wednesday, man. Thanks for joining us on Wager Talk today. Kick ass on the NBA show like you always do. And guys, grab that package, PROFIT49. Skee, thanks so much, brother. We'll be right back with Teddy's 6 Bs and Arthur DiCesare.
The NHL is back, and so are the expert hockey handicappers at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo.com. Right now, you can lock in as many handicappers as you want through the Stanley Cup, giving you 25 weeks of hockey for $3.99 using coupon code PUCktime100 when purchasing an NHL season pass. Lock in your favorite handicapper through the Stanley Cup in July.
It's time for a little bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. A recap of what happened in the sports betting world last night, focusing on the brutal ones, the good ones for bettors, and the bad ones for bettors. Let's start with bad beats. And Mark Rickman sent me another tweet last night. And dude, I'm not calling you out at all. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone else who sends stuff because sometimes I don't see them all. He was talking about Kent State Buffalo, and Kent State was up by 21 at halftime of that game. They won the game by only 3. That said, it's not a true bad beat. They blew the whole lead. They were lucky to win it all. The cover was never in doubt. Buffalo was up by 6 with 2 minutes to play. Bad beat for them maybe on the money line. There's going to be lots and lots and lots of big blown leads in college hoops. It's the nature of the sport. Bad beats, I really try to focus on right sides that go wrong at the end, or go very wrong at the end. Kent State Buffalo, not in that category necessarily last night. It's also worth noting, when you're talking about shorter time frames, quarter bets, half bets, period bets in hockey, there's going to be more bad beats because the line is going to be more likely to be closer to the result. Those are the ones where day in, day out, my first quarter bet lost by a half point. Every half point matters. It's a lesson we try to teach again and again on Wager Talk today. When it comes to bad bets last night, college hoops, there was a bunch of upsets last night, including Duke getting bet up from -2 to -4.5 at Pitt. Not my money. You heard me talk about that game on Big Game Breakdown yesterday. Duke's no good. Pitt beat them outright. All of the Duke money, the books got to keep it. Ohio State got bet up -4 up to -5.5, even -6 is out there versus Purdue. Purdue just keeps winning straight up on the road. Money came for Indiana against Purdue in their last game. They won that straight up. Money game against Purdue and against Ohio State. Well, that too, a bad bet. Boilermakers with the outright upset. Tennessee's really good. They were -6 at the open, -8.5 at the close at Florida. The market expected a blowout. They got a blowout. The Gators won by 26. All that Tennessee money, we got to call that bad bets. And of course, bad for the books. When they make the line too good, it hurts the books. Hurts them with NFL teasers. We talk about that a lot. And I heard them last night when OKC Denver, the total bounced between 219.5 and 220.5 all day. And where does it land? Right on 220. All the money was on Denver in that game, too. The Nuggets wire-to-wire cover. The total lands in the middle. That was a particularly bad game for the house, especially on a night with only 2 NBA games. And, of course, Illinois took a lot of money in college hoops. The Illini from -8 up to -10 against Penn State. They won the game. by 14. Not a great result for bookmakers. That's one that the bettors made a profit on. There you have it, Prez. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Back to you, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Awesome stuff. A couple of bad beats in hockey last night. Ottawa up 3-1. Man, Winnipeg scored with like seconds to go and then pulled it out in overtime. And Washington as well, Teddy, up 3-1, lost to Pittsburgh. Welcome in, everybody. Scott Brown. What?
I said it's funny, Prez, because I'm like, the hockey bad beats, you got to send them to me.
Or I could just say them right after your segment. That
yeah,
we could go that way too. Yeah.
However you want to do it, my friend. Sure.
This show,
let's get you involved.
Welcome to the Teddy Covers Show. Welcome everybody. Star Child, Frederick, Scott Brown, The Dan Show, Jimmy, Jim Tepe, Big Daddy, Kevin. Really quick, guys. Jimmy Stain, dude. You take the time out of your day every day to come into our chat room, give out free picks. If they lose, they lose. Nobody bother Jimmy. He's trying. It's a hard thing to do this, man. Look at what happened to me last night. Come on, boys. We just appreciate you all being here. Ardo, Frenchie. I love having you guys. Hit that like button, man. 1.1 seconds. That's all it takes, and it means the world to us. I can't thank you enough. Honestly, Teddy, I don't know if you realize this, but we judge our guests on how many like buttons are hit. So, guys, if you want Arthur DiCesare to be judged at a very high level, please hit that like button. Arthur, did you hit it?
I always hit it, Prez. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, we love having you on, Arthur. Nice to see you, man. Jesus. Where to start? When does COVID end? I want to come down and hang out with you in the LINQ. That's where we're starting.
God, let's hope, man, soon.
Yeah. Lots of action going on right now. Real quick, we spoke hockey last week. You guys taking a ton of action on hockey. I mean, it's so great right now. The play is incredible. It's exciting as hell with all the crappy amount of defense being played. Where are you at with hockey bets? Do you have any a hockey bet for our listeners tonight that you maybe found?
Yeah, Prez, as we talked about last week. Listen, I know you and I might be in the minority here, but I love that hockey's back too, my man. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's been great with all these, I guess, the offensive barrage in the NHL. Listen, we're always going to take our Knights bets. People like betting the Knights. But hockey to me is always like the parlay builder. People just love to throw hockey on their parlays. Add hockey. Hey, now I got an NBA 2-teamer or a college basketball 2-teamer. Let me throw, a minus 200 on there or an over-under on there. Hockey is always the parlay builder. That's always the way I've looked at it. But, we have our guys who, they like to come in and bet hockey. So, I got a couple guys I talked to in the book about hockey, but obviously there are a few far and in between, but I love it.
Actionable info, Arthur. Sorry, Teddy. I know, Teddy. Actionable info, Arthur. Do you see anything for us to bet tonight?
Prez, not as far as hockey goes that I've seen, but there actually are a couple in both the NBA and college basketball. NBA first. Portland opened -1.5. It's now Memphis -1.5. So you've seen a real swing there. Listen, we get it. Portland's out with McCollum. He's been out. And Memphis just got Ja Morant back, and that's been a nice spark for them. They've played well since he's been back. College basketball, two interesting ones. One is not that crazy of a move, but I'm surprised to see Kentucky get some money. Kentucky -3 at Georgia. It's now -4. Kentucky's been awful this year. Georgia's been pretty good. They've been pretty good at home, 7-2 at home. And, like I said, Kentucky's 4-8 overall, but people still bet Kentucky. It's a name brand, and people are always going to bet Kentucky. And then a total that has really swung. Auburn at Arkansas, 154 it opened. Now it's -160. So people keep betting that over. Arkansas has been a good over team, and they score about 85, 86 points a game. So you've seen a good move on that.
So just to recap that, we've seen sharp money coming in on the Memphis Grizzlies this morning. We've seen sharp money come in on the over that you were just talking about. And, of course, the third one, sharp money coming in on the Kentucky Wildcats, much the way we saw the money coming in on Duke last night. Are we still seeing the quote unquote the name teams in college hoops, the Dukes, the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas, getting public action, or have they wised up by this point that that they know the betting public by and large knows that it's none of those teams are anywhere near their normal selves here in 2021?
No, Teddy, and I heard you say you're absolutely right. Duke's horrible, Kentucky's horrible, but college basketball to me is the ultimate pros versus Joes betting sport. All the Joes come in and they say, hey, it's Kentucky, it's North Carolina, it's Duke, it's all these teams that, once again, we grew up with. Oh, they're only laying this, they're only laying that. So the pro bettors will normally stay away from those teams. They'll focus on the smaller conferences. They'll focus on the teams where the value is. And you're still going to get the public guy who's here. He's here on the weekend, or he's here, on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. He says, ooh, look, Kentucky's playing tonight. They're only giving 3. They're only giving 4. So you're always going to get those name brand teams who get money because, it's really hard to dive deep into this college basketball because there's so many teams. So, people just see names and they bet the names.
Arthur DiCesare, everybody, sportsbook director at the LINQ, an outstanding hotel. I've stayed at it twice. An incredible vibe, a youthful crowd, and a great sportsbook. Make sure to check him out there. Arthur, let's move to NFL, and I'm going to talk about the Green Bay-Tampa Bay game first. I really would love to know where you think the line will end up. Down to -3 at some books, 3.5 at other books. Where is the LINQ right now, and where is this one going to end at?
Yeah, Prez, as you said, it's -3 right now, and we actually have it -3 Green Bay, but you got to pay -120. We opened it -3.5. On Sunday night when we opened it that way, we did see some Tampa Bay money, but it wasn't that crazy. I think when we look at this championship weekend, listen, great games. Both teams can win all 4 teams can win these games. Yeah, where this is going to end up. I mean, I know I look at this. I know people are going to want to bet Tom Brady, like to bet Tom Brady. I don't know. I think Green Bay's a steamroller right here. I think Green Bay's so good at home. Rodgers is amazing at Lambeau. I think Green Bay money's going to pour in. That's just me personally. But, I could be wrong there. I just look at it like I think it's because maybe I lean Green Bay. But right now it's 3. It probably won't move off of 3. I think it's going to stay at 3. And I personally think Green Bay's the play, but I understand why people will back Tampa. And I think more people will be apt to bet Tampa on the money line because you get the +140, or whatever you're going to get it at, like people did last weekend when they started taking Tampa money line Sunday.
Is this the time of year that we start to see those money lines become not reflective of what they look like in the regular season, where the money lines become distorted because when public bettors come in, they tend to want the underdog to win the game straight up? For the Super Bowl, that's always the case, where the favorite on the money line tends to be a distorted, a value bet. Do we see that for the championship weekend as well?
Yeah, absolutely, Ted. I mean, listen, will it be as distorted as a Super Bowl? No, but I think when you have these type of matchups, these type of teams, as close as you're going to get, these are both field goal games. Listen, I think people are just going to say, hey, if I'm not getting the 3.5, let me just take the plus money. Let me take the +140, +130, +150, whatever I get it at, because, hey, if it lands on 3, I just push. But, maybe I can get the plus money and I could just pick the team to win outright as the underdog. So, yeah, you definitely see people lean towards that when they're trying to decide the game. And like I said, I saw a lot of that on Sunday with Tampa. They were saying, forget the 2.5, forget the 3. Let's just take the plus money on the money line.
Well, we saw the Bucks take money against Washington in the first round of the playoffs, in the wild card round. We saw them take heavy money again last week. And you talked about when the line opened that you thought we'd see Green Bay money. I did too. And in fact, it came the other way. Is this just a big betting bandwagon for Tampa Bay right now? Or are the wise guys seeing something that maybe you and I aren't?
Teddy, I really think it is. It's the Brady effect. Listen, if you've been betting sports, you've had Tom Brady in your life for 20 years. You've either bet on him or bet against him, and he's either broken your heart or made you money. I think Tampa has been hot. They've been a hot team. They've looked great, down the stretch going into the season, and obviously they've made this way to the championship game. To me, though, Green Bay is always a team that gets a lot of money. Green Bay sees a lot of money. Green Bay is, once again, one of these public teams. You always see people betting the Packers. So, yeah, I don't know what it is. I fully expect Green Bay to come in here and receive a lot of money. I'm expecting the Green Bay money to start flowing in. Obviously, it's only Wednesday. We got a couple of days. But I think people just look at, hey, you're going to give me Tom Brady 3.5, 3, or, that plus 140, plus 150, whatever I'm getting money line. So I'm going to take my chance with Tampa, but I still expect that Green Bay money to come in.
Arthur DiCesare, everyone. Arthur, I got so many questions to ask about the Kansas City Buffalo Bills game. First one, Mahomes has passed a very important step in the concussion protocol. I think he's going to play. If he does, will that affect the line, or has it already been baked in? Second question, Kansas City has not covered 9 games in a row. Are you taking a ton of money on Kansas City still? I have about 6 more, but we'll leave it at that right now.
Prez, I'm with you. Mahomes is going to play, and like you said, he passed a very big step, but the guy's going to play. I think you said it. I think the reason why maybe this line is as short as it is, man, Kansas City, they win all these games. They go 14-2 in the regular season, but they don't cover any games. They just don't. I mean, like you said, 9, 10 straight games they don't cover. And, last weekend was tough. Obviously, they were given 10 points. That's a lot in a playoff game. And, they probably could have easily covered that game if Mahomes had stayed in the game. And, Buffalo's been on this magical ride, and Buffalo has been a team that the public has made a lot of money on this year. People have been, the Bills have been really good to people this year. So, I think this line could move a little bit. But once again, this is one of these things. This game's sitting at 3. If it gets to 3.5, people will jump on the Bills. I think people will jump on the Bills' money line. And I think some people, if they dive into the numbers, might be scared of, Mahomes. Is he 100% healthy? Maybe one more hit, he's out again. And the fact that they have not covered all these games. But Kansas City is a team people like to bet on because of Mahomes. So it's a really interesting dynamic in this game.
Of course, we're talking just a few minutes left here with Arthur DiCesare, race and sports supervisor over the LINQ Sportsbook, right in the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. An excellent follow on Twitter at ArtDice21. And I want to ask you this question because it speaks to the prominence of Las Vegas in the sports betting pantheon. All right. I don't think if the books weren't open across the rest of the country, we didn't have the Pennsylvania or the Jersey books that now set a record for handle. What they do, almost $1 billion of handle in December. And without those books doing that, would we even have a lineup for KC and Buffalo right now? Because back in the day, this would be off the board until we had confirmation that Mahomes was going to be in or out. But this year, that line came up and it stayed up, despite the fact that in the regular season, there's no way this line would be up. Is that the influence of other books in the States? Why does this number have a game up with Patrick Mahomes in question?
Yeah, Teddy, and we were sitting there on Sunday night and I was shocked that we had a number out as instantly as we did. I was like, maybe they should wait on this. Let's just wait till Monday morning. Let's get some more information. But yeah, listen, it was right. It was the Vegas line. What's the Vegas line going to be in? Vegas basically had 40, 50 years where they could say, hey, we're going to hold back. We're the only ones who are putting out a number, and we can wait to see when all this information comes out. Now, Sunday night, Monday morning, you're going to see this is the number in Jersey. This is the number in Pennsylvania, all these places. Michigan's about to start. So, yeah, I understand why you got to have to kind of keep up with the Joneses here and you got to put a number out. But let me just say this, too, about all these other states. I think it's great. I really do. I think this industry is growing. I love that you see all these numbers and all these figures. And people are like, wow, look at this. This is such a crazy thing with all this amount of money being bet. So I actually love that all these other states are doing great. But, yes, I'm 100% with you. I think in the past, Vegas could have held back. But now you kind of have to keep up with the Joneses. Vegas can't be the last one with the number out.
Arthur DiCesare, everybody, joins us every Wednesday on WagerTalk Today. And we're honored to have you, man. I can't thank you enough for joining us. What do you got to promote for us? And guys, make sure to follow Arthur. He's a great follow on Twitter at ArtDice21. Anything to promote?
As always, guys, I appreciate being on. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, listen, come down to the LINQ, man. We've had a really busy couple of weekends with, obviously the playoffs. It's been really great. Listen, we got a lot of great things going down at the LINQ. Our fan caves are great. It's a really great experience to watch the games. It's like sitting in your living room. You get this big couch, you get this iPad, you get to control all the games, the volume, anything you want to do, put the odds boards up. So it's a lot of fun. And listen, I'm always there. So come say hi. I'll always be down there at the LINQ. So just come down, check out our fan caves, my guys.
And guys, just to let you know, the LINQ doesn't pay us to sponsor this show, nor send the great Arthur DiCesare on. We do it out of love, and because it really is an incredible sports book to watch a game at. Arthur, thanks for joining us. We're going to take a quick break, everybody. Right back with Teddy's Big Game Breakdown. And, of course, Ralph the Pen Michaels.
While everyone is focused on the NFL, NBA, college basketball, and the return of NHL, our resident Asian sports expert, Tokyo Brandon, has been crushing it. It's currently 68.6% in 2021. Based in Tokyo, Japan, Brandon previously scouted Japanese baseball for the Pacific Rim scouting department of a Major League Baseball team for 10 years. He now uses his mathematical probabilities and betting models to handicap Japanese baseball in an array of international basketball leagues. For a limited time, you can check out Tokyo Brandon for pennies on the dollar and get 1 full week of picks for only $49 using coupon code ASIA49 when checking out.
It is time for today's Big Game Breakdown. Let's talk the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. ESPN game tonight. What's that go? 7:05 Eastern time. And literally within the last 5 minutes, we've had upgraded injury information for this ballgame. The big news, obviously, Embiid for Philly, probable. Looks like he's going to go. Whereas Tatum for Boston, he's out. They're still dealing with the COVID protocol. So the 76ers will have their best player. The Celtics will not. The 76ers also in playoff revenge for a pretty ugly first round series against the Celtics last summer in the bubble. So a couple of key factors pointing towards Philadelphia in this one. It is worth noting, however, for the Sixers, they're not going to have Seth Curry today. There was some thought that he was going to be back on the floor, and his three-point shooting has been a difference maker for Philadelphia in early season play. He's not going to be on the floor tonight. We have a Boston team that's coming off a 30-point home loss to the Knicks in their last contest. In theory, we love Boston off a loss, okay? And we love them off a no-show loss. The Celtics, last 28 tries as a dog, they're 22-6. This has absolutely been their role. It's been their role throughout the Brad Stevens era. We like Boston getting points. We like Boston off a loss, even without their superstar in the lineup. And of course, Philly's coming off a loss too. They lost to Memphis. And if you're betting against the Sixers at home, I mean, Philly has been as sharp a home-road dichotomy team as you'll find in the NBA over the last couple of years. You need a reason to bet against them at home, and you need a reason to back them on the road. They are coming off a loss, but you looked at Philly over the course of the last, really 2 weeks, maybe longer than that. I haven't seen Philly beating anybody good. They had the one win against Miami by margin when Miami was shorthanded, really shorthanded. Other than that, they lose to Memphis. The Heat take them to overtime. They lose to Atlanta. They lose to Denver. They lose to Brooklyn. Washington takes them to the limit. Not a Philly team I'm comfortable laying the points with here. Lean Boston and that track record, despite the fact that the Celtics not going to have their best player, and the Sixers are. There you have it, Prez. Back to you.
Teddy covers great stuff. Love it. Guys, tomorrow's show, Dave Koken joining us, and either Andy Lang or Matt Joseph are going to do some props as well. We'll keep you posted on Twitter about that. Gianni can't make the show tomorrow. Conor McGregor fight Saturday, and he is just super busy this week. So shout out to him. He's got a bunch of UFC picks up at WagerTalk.com. And Andrew McGinnis has a 5% play that starts in like half an hour on the main event of today's card. Guys, hit that like button, please. Greatly appreciated. Ralph Michaels! How are you, my friend? And Ralph is so good.
All right. Thanks. I know a lot of times, if you guys watch the college basketball tip-off show, Joe just mutes me. He sort of treats me like the Prez on the show. So I don't know what the hell I did to piss him off, but my God. I'm going to jump in, guys, and I'm going to, Teddy, I'm going to carry on the conversation you and Art DiCesare had. You guys were talking about money line in the playoffs compared to being the line. So I'm going to quantify it for you. Since 1999, there have been 89 playoff games with the winner with the lines between the threes. So plus 3.5 to minus 3.5. 21 of those, 21.6%, have fallen 1, 2, or 3. So you decide if the money line is worth it or not. 23.6% of the 89 playoff games that were between the 3.5s fell either 1, 2, or a 3-point final margin.
So if you're laying minus 160 with the favorite, if only 20% of those games are falling into the I would win straight up but lose ATS, doesn't make sense. That's not a profitable wager.
No, it's not. So again, I just was looking it up as you guys talked. It's not a number I had. So keep that in mind. Again, every scenario is different, but that does give you the numbers for the last 20 plus years to know what has happened in the NFL playoffs. Well, this isn't much of a dog and favorite role tonight, but check out the numbers. The San Antonio Spurs, as the angle of the day, are now 7-0 ATS as a road dog, and they've won 5 of those straight up. That's the impressive number. The Golden State Warriors are 0-8 as a home favorite. They are 1-7 straight up. Yes, it's only a 1-point line, but home road dichotomy says one answer only. That's game number 521, San Antonio plus the point this evening.
And that's one that if you want to bet the Spurs, I would do it sooner rather than later. There has been at least modest support for San Antonio in the betting markets already.
Yeah, we've seen was minus 1.5 for Golden State last night, down to -1, and keeps going. Ralph, what else you got for us, man? I love your segment.
Prez, I'm gonna semi call you out, but not really call you out because we always learn as handicappers. We never stop learning.
Keep going.
What happens? Okay, what happens? This is a simple question. When an NHL team is off a shutout win, is it a positive or a negative the next game? If an NHL team is off a shutout loss, is it a positive or a negative next game? Do you have any thoughts in your head right now?
I would say that a shutout win, it is a negative for the next game. A shutout loss, it is a positive for the next game. But it is a statistic that I don't keep and on a whole just don't use in my handicapping. But
You don't think a shutout's a huge deal in hockey?
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying the next game that team falls apart.
Okay, well, let's take a look at first teams off a shutout loss. Now, the overall record, if you look on the top, and guys, with hockey, you have so many variances because of the average lines vary, but take a look all the way to the right, return on risk or return on investment. That really is the one go-to number that you can know if it's a good or bad bet. So if you look at the top line overall, teams off a shutout loss are 48.6%, basically breaking even. So it is a no play. But look at the greens and the reds. When a team is off a shutout loss and is an away favorite or a home favorite, they are plus. If a team is off a shutout loss and they are a away dog, or look at a home dog on the bottom all the way to the right. If you play on a home dog off a shutout loss, you are minus 10.7% ROI. So simply take one thing away from this. There is a clear advantage playing on a favorite off a shutout loss there is a clear advantage playing against a dog off a shutout loss. And then 2 over-under numbers to take a look at. If a team is off a shutout loss and away favorite, the next game has gone over 57%. If a team is off a shutout loss and a home dog on the very bottom, they are 43% against the spread. So that one was, again, pretty simple. I would think that's as simple as it gets. I would think, Prez, you now mark that down and add that to your handicapping repertoire.
Thanks, Ralph. And I love that kind of information. I mean, I think everyone needs to be a bit careful this year when looking at those numbers, because most of these back-to-back games are going to be against the same team as opposed to last year when they weren't. And it's funny because I have so much to say in regards to that, but we are running out of time. All
right, then let's add the one more list, Prez. I need to go off a shutout win. Take a look at these numbers, guys. If you have an NHL team off a shutout win, take a look at the red. Take a look at the return on risk all the way to the right. If you are off a shutout win and you are a home dog, you are minus 28.3% return on risk. So basically, it's as simple as this. If you are off a shutout win, you better have a damn good reason to play on that team.
Sounds like exactly what the Prez said at the beginning of this segment. Ralph Michaels, what do you have for the Friends of Ralph segment?
8-1 run.
Nice.
Bobby Liggs, an actual 4% client play today. Bobby was off a 5% NBA winner the other night. Detroit and Atlanta over 221. No pressure at all, Mr. Liggs. An 8-1 run. I'll be looking for you if this game doesn't cover.
That's the show, everybody. Ralph Michaels, Arthur DiCesare, Skee Profit. Can't thank you guys enough for taking time out of your day. All you guys in the chat room, even the 2 Jimmies who duked it out for the entire show. Joe Ranieri for his outstanding work in the background. Teddy Covers for his just awesomeness, just pure freaking awesomeness. Guys, we got the college basketball show up next, then the NBA show. Make sure to check that out. Also, put down in your calendar, everybody, Monday's show. We're going to talk NFL, but we also have an NHL veteran, 15 years in the league, joining us, Matthew Barnaby. Check him out. He's a great gambler, too. Follow him on Twitter. I mean, this guy knows his stuff. So I'm really pumped about that Monday's show, Matthew Barnaby. Other than that, good luck, everybody, to all of you tonight. Love you for watching us. Check me out on Twitter. I'll be posting a big dog free pick in about an hour. Teddy, take us home.
Enjoy the games. Good luck. We'll be back again tomorrow right here on WagerTalk Today.
By popular demand, it is back. The NBA. WagerTalk Stat Sheet. Can you analyze the NBA with just one page of information? I think you can. And that's why the stat sheet was devised. It gives you year-to-date stats for every team playing that evening, broken up both home and away and overall on the season. And most importantly, it takes the last 2 weeks. There are many ebbs and flows in an NBA season, but looking at how a team has done the last 2 weeks, straight up, against the spread, and over-under is important. I've added an extra feature, though. Points scored, points allowed, average line, and average total. Having an ATS or over-under number is important, but knowing by how much that team has covered those games or how much the team went over or under the total, even more important. I also add a free Best Bet Daily. The NBA WagerTalk Stat Sheet, free daily. You go to WagerTalk.com, go to the Ralph Michaels page, and do not handicap an NBA day without it.